YB stays on your neck.
It's on my neck.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So Anthony, the landlord Joshua, has confirmed what I've been trying to tell you, man, for the longest time. Andy Ruiz don't got no power. Andy Ruiz fought the clone. AJ knows this as well. These kind of comments give me more confidence as well, because I mentioned something a few days ago. Well, I did a video talking about AJ's sparring partners, and I was baffled why he was bringing in just random bodies as if he wasn't really that fussed about replicating a particular style. And at the end of that video, I concluded that come December 7th, like I've been saying throughout this time, really, whilst I'm in two different worlds, i.e., part of me thinks AJ's coming just to chop up the turkey, part of me thinks I'm not sure. And that's why this fight's so exciting. But as I was saying, listen, in that video where I talked about being confused why AJ wasn't bringing in Ruiz specific bodies, I concluded that maybe AJ's not bothered about his sparring partners because he knows Ruiz can't hurt him. He knows that the first fight was thrown away because, let's get it right, like I told you, man, at the time, June 2nd after the fight, what was the YB? In fact, who was the only one saying, you guys, it's a bit fishy, you know, because after the fight, AJ wasn't talking about, oh, I'm unhappy, I'm sad. AJ was talking about, oh yeah, this is going to be great for ratings. That was the first thing on his mind. And even Sugar Ray Leonard was completely shocked, saying, what? I've never heard this before. The first thing on AJ's mind was how good it will be for ratings. Do you think that's the response of a man who's really taking his first L? That there seems to me like some sort of planning. For that to be the first thing on his mind, oh, it's how great it's going to be. In fact, you know what? I'm going to do that video again soon, in the next few days, before this next fight happens, just to remind people and refresh their memory. Anyway, back to this. So like I was saying, I couldn't work out why AJ ain't bringing in like people like Ruiz or people like Dillian White or people like Chisora for sparring. Now we know why he's bringing in cruiserweights. He's not fussed, because like you've seen by the title of this video, or like you see on your screen now, Anthony Joshua reveals Vladimir Klitschko hit him harder than Andy Ruiz. Bang! That there's the long and the short of it. In fact, before we go on, let me read to you the quotes so you get the full context. AJ says, "Who's hit me hardest? Yeah, Klitschko. I was gonna say Ruiz, but when he hit me, there was like a concussion on the back of my head. When I went in with Klitschko, yeah, I just knew this could go two ways. I could either win, or I'm going to be laid out on my back. You know when you get carried out on a stretcher? There you go, bang. Mixed it up nicely there. I was going to say Ruiz, but I was coming into the fight. Rob McCracken put me in the fight with a concussion. In fact, he actually pretty much admits here. Maybe I should put a different title on this video. I might title AJ admits he had a concussion before the fight, because it's similar. This statement don't even really add up to me. Yeah, Klitschko, I was gonna say Ruiz, but when he hit me, that was like a concussion on the back of my head. No, what AJ means to say is, listen, I was gonna say Ruiz, but then I realised I was coming into the fight having been knocked out 8 days before in sparring. That's what makes more sense, given all the other things, i.e. looking gaunt in the fight, looking like a zombie, fighting like a zombie, etc, etc. And that could be another reason why AJ's so confident going into this rematch and not really bothered about sparring, because he knows that, and this someone actually put this in the comments, maybe AJ's ultra confident because he knows that if I go in here, and this is what a lot of people have been saying, myself included, if AJ goes in there normal, it shouldn't be an issue. We shouldn't really be talking about this fight like we are now. It's either been set up and or there was a concussion. For me, there's something going on. There's no way, I don't care what no one says, AJ can mug us all off as much as he wants, in as much as telling us, oh yeah, conspiracy theorists, and oh, don't be silly, I don't get panic attacks. All I know is, I'm not so sure about the panic attack. All I know though, for sure, if I'd bet my life on it, yeah, well, I don't know about that, but I'd be close to betting my life that at least I'd be close to betting my life that there was at least one thing not right, i.e. a financial/business setup. We do know Deontay Wilder isn't going to fight for 3 years. Tyson Fury is going to retire. So AJ's sitting there thinking, you know what, for my legacy, what can I do here? Fight who? Even Ortiz don't want it. Jarrell Miller don't want it. Seriously, who can he fight? Daniel Dubois, come on, man. He's got another 3 years of simmering to be doing. to get a big name. What could he have done? This right here, he's created a fight bigger than the Wilder fight. This, financially speaking, AJ vs Ruiz 2 is bigger than a Wilder fight. In fact, in reality, this is like Fury and Wilder on the same night. Seriously, if you do the maths, assuming AJ makes 75 million for this fight against Ruiz, he wouldn't make that against. Or tell a lie. Yeah, no, you would actually. It'd make, yeah, scrap that. You wouldn't make it. Not both of them, but it's more the Wilder fight. He was only going to get paid 60, as an example. So in reality, and let's get it right as well. We can sit here and say, oh well, AJ was going to make 60 for the Wilder fight. Is Wilder going to get in the ring with him? No, that's the thing. Sitting there and saying, oh, Wilder don't sound like he wants it ever. Yeah, we've already seen. Look at Dillian White's situation. Dillian White isn't booked in until 2021. Never mind AJ. We haven't even talked about AJ yet. Never. So it's simple as that. From a business point of view, it made absolute sense to generate a career-defining fight. I've said it myself that this for me is career-defining for AJ. This for me, in my personal opinion, others can have their own personal opinion, but for me, this fight will define to me whether AJ or not has all-time great caliber. If he goes in there and he does the things I've been talking about, it demonstrates to me all-time caliber. And to be honest with you, even if he goes in there and he doesn't listen to me and he goes in there and and he's able to win on the back foot, that would tell me that AJ's much more. Not that I personally think it's a good thing, but if AJ was able to go in there and pull off a Tyson Fury, that would tell me, wow, this guy's actually a lot more. Yeah, he can pull all sorts out the bag. There really will be no end. It wouldn't be a good thing, no. Yeah, the best thing on December 7th is to go in there and make Ruiz quit. That's the best thing. That's how I see this happening. Busting him, touching him all over, molesting him all over, and making him retire or pulling a David Price versus Chisora. That's how I see it going. Big towel being thrown in. Yeah? Trying to save their Mexican champion. Throw the towel. That's what happened. The towel's going to go flying across the screen. I'm telling you now. That's what's going to happen. Get bullied. But anyway, what was I saying? So let's talk about. Let's talk about the issues here. What was I talking about? The money. This is for me that there was always one of something not right. Either it was a business setup, or a concussion, or panic attack, or it could be a mix of several of them. But for me, most likely, is it set up? It's hard to say that, but who knows what's going on these days? The Canelo versus Kovalev fight. I'm sorry, everyone can be mad at me, but I don't see this is something that didn't look right there for me, and that tells me that DAZN clearly have some. We're talking big money here. It's no joke. We're talking bigger man business, big corporate things there. We've already seen DAZN being involved with Canelo versus Kovalev, which to me was a shocker, in as much as pure setup. So we know they have a propensity to be pulling that stuff off. But in terms of the other ones, I think they're all pretty equal. I'm not sure whether it was a financial setup or whether it was a concussion job. Because the concussion job makes sense because he just didn't look right. He didn't fight right either. I mean, I have seen the gradual progression of AJ becoming less aggressive. That maybe the people have speculated, maybe the money's moistened him up. Maybe this, maybe that, maybe it's because he's around a bag of moist man all the time. Maybe that's moistened him up. And actually, I talked about what's his name? What's that man's Tony? His old trainer, Tony Sims. And actually, look at Conor Benn. Conor Benn, he seems to be making gradual improvements. And not only that, though, he has the aggression. He wants to get in there and get it on. That said, he's not stepping nowhere near the competition of AJ. Will Conor Benn be as ferocious when he's in there with the elites? We don't know yet. AJ is at that elite level, and he hasn't had much amateur or pro background. So it's all difficult. All we know is that December 7th ain't far away, and the fact AJ says here quite clearly, Ruiz wasn't hitting no one nowhere. Ruiz was only hurting me. Well, not even hurting me. Ruiz only was putting me down. Let's get it right as well. He didn't even hurt AJ. AJ says here quite clearly, when I was in there with Klitschko, I wasn't sure whether I was going to be going out on a stretcher or whether he was going to be going out on a stretcher. That there tells you that there's a level of power there. With the Ruiz, AJ was never contemplating going out on the stretcher. It was whether Ruiz could bore AJ to tears. And AJ, I'm going to do a video on this as well, but remember AJ after the fight trolled Ruiz and said, listen, Ruiz, if I'd have had you hurt like that, you'd have been Audi. Yeah? AJ was getting up and down like a yo-yo, but you couldn't finish him. And that was your best chance. Your best chance, Ruiz, was to done a proper job on AJ. Instead, you bored him after death. I'm not going to lie. I was bored. During the fight, yeah, it was exciting, but in reality, it was actually boring in as much as people talk about Ruiz being powerful and Ruiz having combinations. Where was the combinations at? AJ was done after the 3rd round, as AJ says himself. He said, listen, Ruiz, I was done. What was you doing? Ruiz is meant to be this great Mike Tyson, Mexican Mike Tyson. Where was the Mexican Mike Tyson at? Where was the finishing ability? Mike Tyson was great because he knew how to finish. Ruiz don't know how to. Ruiz couldn't finish off nothing. I spoke to his wife. No disrespect, I spoke to Ruiz's wife. He don't finish nothing off. Yeah, never mind AJ. You don't even. No wonder he can't finish AJ off. Can't even finish his wife off. You know what I mean? Shit. Listen, big man thing now. But what was I saying? Ruiz, no power. AJ mugged him. AJ's already mugged this guy off. Yeah? Klitschko, a 40-million-year-old man, had more power than Ruiz did. Simple as that. Straight up and down. How embarrassing is that? And you've got to remember, Ruiz is meant to be known as a big inside fighter. Klitschko is known as he's got a good right hand. Got a good right hand. Can't take that away from him. That said, AJ knows what he's dealing with here. Straight up. Who has more power? A 40-million-year-old man in Klitschko, or a 30-year-old prime Ruiz? Mike Tyson, Mexican Mike Tyson. 40-million-year-old man AJ chose. So that there tells me all we need to know here. AJ's going to go in there, not be a clone, not be half concussed from Rob McCracken. And that's funny, actually. Talking about the sparring quickly. People shot me down at the time when we talked about the sparring rumours. Oh, we wouldn't be sparring 8 days out. And I can't remember who it was. Who was it? Someone recently found out they absolutely were sparring 8 days before, by the way. Absolutely. 2 weeks before they were sparring. I forgot who it was. I was watching some interview recently, and they were saying how they were sparring up until a week before the fight. So, in fact, it was Derek Chisora was. That was it. Because bang on, I got it now. Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora went to AJ's camp a week before he fought. So that there is proof that they do spar a week before. No doubt. So everyone getting gassed about, he couldn't have got concussion because he wasn't sparring. He was sparring. So when you take it all into account, Ruiz, on his best, let's get it right, that was Ruiz's best night. On Ruiz's absolute best night, he couldn't properly stop, because let's get it right on this one. AJ had already stood up and had already answered the ref's commands. Yeah, but I'm not actually criticising the stoppage. The stoppage is what it was. Do I think AJ was going to come back and win that night? No, I don't anyway. So it's fine. I'm happy for that to be an L. My point is, Ruiz didn't force the stoppage. Yeah, it's not like the referee pulled Ruiz off of him. Does that make sense? Well, essentially, it was more of a mercy stoppage. You know what? I spoke to the referee after the fight, and he said, "Listen, we've got to be honest with you, YB. The reason I stopped the fight, I just got bored. I got bored of seeing Ruiz having no power, having no thing in his shots. I felt sorry for AJ having to keep getting up. Yeah, this at the end of the day, the sport's called boxing, not squatting. AJ spent more time squatting up and down. I thought we were watching weightlifting, if the truth be known. All I saw AJ doing was squatting up and down on the floor. What are we doing? Jumping jacks or boxing? End of the day, referee told me, as I said, he said, listen, I got sick and tired. Ref said that if in his mind he was thinking, how many more chances do I have to give Ruiz to get the job done? And he thought, you know what, 4's enough. I'm going to call it end here. So he gave Ruiz. He wanted. I got to be honest. As I said, I spoke to the referee. And he said, listen, if I'm honest with you, I really wanted to give Ruiz the Deontay Wilder, I wanted to give him the highlight reel, the 10-second, the vine. He wanted to give him that explosive, like, snapshot KO, but Ruiz couldn't muster it. How many more times do you need? 6, 7, 8? And it was quite apparent that he was never going to get it. Not in a month for Sundays was he actually going to finish AJ. Because AJ, no matter what no one says, has a world-class chin. All that happened that night is, in my opinion, if I was to bet, gone to my head, AJ had a concussion before. And because you've got to remember, listen to the words he says here. Yeah, who hit me hardest? Yeah, Klitschko. I was going to say Ruiz, but when he hit me, that was like a concussion on the back of my head. No, that when you read in between the lines there, who hit me hardest? Yeah, Klitschko. I was going to say Ruiz, but then I remembered I had a concussion going into the fight. Boom. That's the long and the short of it here. There are only let me translate AJ for you. Let me translate AJ's PR training for you. What he's saying there is, fans, I know I can't come out publicly and tell you lot that McCracken's a crap trainer, but that said, nonetheless, he put me in the ring with a concussion 8 days ago, and that's the only reason Ruiz hit me and put me down. Because this is the question I couldn't answer myself. Why is it AJ, and many people have said this, why is it AJ can take shots, left hooks, big right hands off of Klitschko all night? Even the big one that put him down, he kind of stumbled to the floor and just smiled and got up. bamboozled. Neither, to be fair, he weren't in the Ruiz fight. But anyway, my point is, AJ took big shots off of Klitschko and didn't go nowhere. So, yeah? I think them big tree trunk legs did their job and kept him stable. All of a sudden, they were Ruiz, and look at every single knockdown. It wasn't a Tyson Fury lost consciousness. It wasn't a Tyson Fury zero brain activity. It was kind of a I'm half exhausted, and I'm tired of not being put out of my misery. Kind of just flopped to the floor. One of them ones there. That makes sense. That's what it was. In fact, that doesn't need to make sense. Go and watch the fight. Never once did you see Ruiz clip AJ and he flops unconscious. He just kind of goes to the floor. It's like I'm bored of you not having any power. That's what it looked like. In fact, I actually watched it back the other day, and if you watch, I think it's the third knockdown. Look at AJ's mouth. He goes, "Oh, Ruiz don't have no power." That's what he goes on his way down because he got bored. He thought, how many times? It's embarrassing now, Ruiz. Get some muster so I can lay on my back. That's what he was begging for. He wanted the Fury. He wanted to be out like Fury. To be honest with you, he wanted to properly relax because Ruiz didn't have the snap in his shots. And that's what's most embarrassing, to be fair. Ruiz has good technique, but he doesn't have the genetic code to generate force on the end of his hand. In my opinion, it's most likely because he's got that big belly. He spends all of his energy, all of his power spent on transferring his big belly around the place rather than putting it on the end of his hand. Anyway, I've rambled for long enough, but essentially, I'm surprised because I wasn't expecting for this to be a reveal. But essentially, AJ's admitted here that the only reason Ruiz put him down was because he was concussed in sparring 10 weeks ago. That's the truth. That's the God's honest truth. But outside of that quick deep wide beer analysis, what else we know is Ruiz don't have no power. Take the concussion out beforehand. Ruiz have no power. Couldn't do a George Michael to AJ on his absolute worst day. Ruiz is in a whole world of trouble here, by the way, people. And that's something you can never forget that, because I always sometimes I get lost in my own world thinking about how powerful Ruiz is and how good Ruiz is, but I realise I've seen the Dimitrenko fight. He couldn't hurt Dimitrenko. Couldn't hurt him, and he was hitting him with them same combinations. So as I said, I know now to put AJ in there with no concussion, no sparring 8 days before, and it's going to be like Klitschko, not even like Klitschko. I don't even think it'll be that close. I think Klitschko is a much harder puncher than Ruiz, as AJ says here. I think it's going to be like a AJ versus, not Charles Martin. It's going to be some action, but AJ will take some shots. But I'll tell you what, great example. AJ versus Dillian Whyte, exactly like that. He'll get clipped, but this time he'll get clipped and he'll just march forward and smile like he normally does. And I'm not being funny, Dillian Whyte's a much bigger puncher than Ruiz. Let's get it right. Anyway, let me know what your man think. Do you think Ruiz hits harder than AJ? Do you think AJ is going to be able to take the shots from Ruiz? However you sit on this one, I'm going to be very intrigued to hear. Also, let me know what you think about. Do you think my what I've concluded about AJ's words here? Do you think AJ was concussed before the fight? Do you think he was set up for the money? What is it? Let me know.